And we're live. What's up, everyone? This is Jason Tucker, and this is WP Blab. Today is Thursday. You know what that means? Hashtag Ask WP Blab. We're going to be answering your questions live. So, real quick, before we get fully started here, Bridget, the Twitter nerd, tell us about yourself.
I am a self-taught social media manager who dispenses unsolicited advice on my blog and YouTube channel, BridgetWillard.com, because you too can be a guru.
Awesome. See, elevator pitch right there. I don't have
Here's
an
my
elevator
10 second.
Mine's so ridiculous. It's like, what do you do? Well, I run an IT department for a church. I take care of web development stuff. I sometimes tweet. I do the Facebook. I do the Instagram. I do the YouTubes, which is where we post this stuff. We are both content creators now that you can add that to your list of things that you can say in the elevator. We do content creation. So
we are creating content.
We are created content. So
the value of which is debatable, but it's happening.
You know what? It's funny you say that, but really, this show on YouTube, I kid you not, gets thousands of views.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Wow.
And this show's sister show gets thousands of views.
Oh, I believe that.
Week. Yep.
Hey, you're just shout out quickly. I don't know if you're allowed to like brag about the other show, but last week's show about how to get the most out of WordCamp. It's something I wished I'd watched before I went to my first WordCamp, but also reinforced some of my own strategies about getting the most out of WordCamp. So I embedded it on my blog post. What's WordCamp and why should you go? Because that was really good. That was one of the best ones because
I think I may have seen.
It felt like, wow, you mean you guys just started going in like 2011? Like I was only a couple of years behind you? That's crazy. Yeah. It made me feel like less newbie, just a little bit less. Like, wow, you guys, that's cool. Yeah, it was good. I liked it. You guys should watch it. So whatever episode number that was, 150, blah, 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 160 something. Whatever.
162.
There you go. 162. You gotta watch it. And there's always a WordCamp. So, like a lot of trades have an annual convention.
Right.
WordPress, there's at least one WordCamp like every weekend.
Every weekend, all around the world. So if you're flying someplace, you can land someplace and be like, is there a WordCamp happening right now? And it very well could be, So.
Yeah, so something I was thinking about while I was driving home today is what if you have this totally hypothetical situation where somebody built your website, cousin, brother, former employee, a dev that you didn't have a maintenance contract with, and now you have a WordPress website you want to make a change to. How would you suggest somebody finding someone who can work on it?
Ooh. Well, there's a few ways to do it. You can always
just hypothetically.
You can always ask a friend. The other way would be no matter what, you always want to vet this person, and you want to look at the stuff that these people are doing. So let's say you found somebody, which
but I'm saying like you're not going to look for them on Craigslist.
No.
So like
you're not going to look on Odesk. You're not going to look on Elance. You're not going to look on maybe these places don't exist anymore. You're definitely not going to spend $5 and have somebody log into your website. Like, no, don't do any of those things.
Is there like a directory of people that
kinda
like almost a Craigslist but more reputable for website developers? Like, I need somebody who will do this. Is there like a directory people can?
There's a couple Facebook groups that do this, but there isn't really like a website that's like, I have $12. What can I have done on my website? They don't have that.
Like Code Calvary does coding for $1 a minute.
Right.
But like if you're just a person, you don't know anything. Never been to a WordCamp. You just own a business, and the person who built your site doesn't work there anymore for some reason, just hypothetically.
Right.
So, how are you going to find that when you Google stuff?
Well, like I said, it's more along the lines of using some other social network that already exists that has this there. So looking on Facebook, looking
Bulletin
at this.
board.
No, I mean, there's probably somebody who made a website that's like, WP web developer recommendations.co.uk
For hire.
or something.
WPDevforhire.com. Maybe
Right.
that's $1 million business idea. I don't know.
So if you do start one, let us know next week. We'll be more than happy to do it for you. You could be our free sponsor,
Well, it made me, I was thinking about it because at WordCamp Orlando last weekend, they kept posting pictures of, I wasn't there, but I was following the hashtag.
The board.
They kept saying, here's the job board, here's a job board. So I was wondering, is there an internet version of that? Somebody asked me, oh, can you help me with your website? I'm like, I have a job. I don't have time for that. Go here.
Right. There's a few WordPress like looking for work or looking for web developer type Facebook groups. I'm unfortunately not involved in those because I'm not looking for a web developer.
Yeah, right.
But there are some that are out there. So if you do a search for WordPress, and then I think it's I'm looking on Facebook right now while we're doing this here. But there's a few of them, and there's also ones that are like WordPress designers, WordPress developers, WordPress freelancers, those types of things that you can go in there and ask those types of questions. But really,
so for the regular person, what's the difference between a developer and a designer?
Yeah, it used to be, and I used to call myself a website designer, and I'm not a designer. You don't want me designing anything. Go look on WPwatercooler.com. That's my design. I'm not a designer. So because of that, I do development work. I mean, you can be, quote unquote, the unicorn or a unicorn. But really, for me, I'm just a developer. That's it. And so the difference between a developer and designer is somebody who's doing design is going to do a really great job to make your website look good. Now, I can do that by outsourcing it to somebody else and having them do design work, and then I'll do the development work, or they would do vice versa. So yeah, you want to find somebody who says they can build websites, they can design them, or at least they have somebody that they can work with to do design. And yeah, I mean that's kind of where you want to begin with it.
Or find somebody who does maintenance, like the upgrades and the core upgrades and the plugin upgrades and what have you.
Exactly. There's a bunch of those. WP Site Care is one that comes to mind. There's a few other ones that are out there that do that type of thing. And yeah, they might be a good resource where they're like, we don't really do those larger scale type work. We do more of like hourly for hire type stuff. So yeah, we're going to do this instead. So yeah, I would, yeah, you're right. I would definitely ask those questions. But when it comes to like a meetup, let's say you need somebody next week or within the month, go to one of the meetups and then just raise your hand and say, hi, I have a website. It's written in WordPress. Can you guys help me out? And then, somebody will definitely jump up and say, yes, I would gladly take your money and turn it into a website. No problem.
That's great. Okay.
And I used to do that myself. I would go to our local meetup in Orange County, California. And I would say, I'm looking for work right now. Who's there? And, you kind of watch the sharks kind of circle the tank as like as like the people show up and they're like, I need a website built. And you're like, oh, tell us about your website. And then all these people just kind of, you can see people like go, ooh, okay. Or
I'm listening.
So one of the things to definitely think about when you're doing this type of stuff is that you should ask people, or rather the first question somebody's going to ask you is, what's your budget? So you got to know what your budget is. And if you don't know what your budget is, you need to think about it a little bit. And I know it's hard to come up with a dollar amount for something that you don't know what the dollar amounts typically are. Good rule of thumb, start with $1,000. Just to start. And if you don't have $1,000, you should probably not be, doing this type of work just yet. Because to find somebody who's worth more than that or less than that, they're going to either be very, very new to this and their hourly rate's not going to be very high, and the quality of work that you're going to get isn't going to be there just yet, So I would definitely find somebody who is, who would be willing to start with $1,000 and kind of work up from there. typically 2,500, 1,500, somewhere in there. That kind of makes people happy. Once you get into the $500 marks, you're like, okay, I have 5 hours to work with you. Because my hourly rate's $100 an hour. So I just go, okay, well, here you go. I'll do your site for you, but it's definitely going to be, $100 an hour.
That makes sense.
Well, there's some developers, they'll gladly do sites for $35, and you're like, $35 an hour, really? Like, okay, but I live in California.
Well, that's what I was going to say. There might be some third-party outsourcing going on.
That's true too. Which is one of the things I was going to say earlier was you need to look at their portfolio of sites that they've built. Even if they don't have it in some, don't expect somebody to pull out this like book and show you, here are the websites, like it's a tattoo parlor or something. No. You're not picking by numbers here. Like you're definitely, here's a type of...
Lab number 42!
Exactly. And I want it right here.
Mom!
Mom, exactly. So, when you go and ask these people, like, show me the type of work you've done, ask them functionality questions. Hey, have you made it so this works with a form? Have you made this thing so it can accept, PayPal donations, or whatever the thing is that you're trying to get to kind of happen? Or can you sell stuff? Have you ever used this type of, service? And then show them what type of stuff you're already using. I'm a person that does a lot of things on Facebook. Okay, well, maybe we should make the website work with Facebook. I really do a lot of Instagram stuff. Okay, well, maybe we should start doing some Instagram stuff. I sell stuff. I need to be able to accept credit card transactions. Those types of things. So ask those questions and figure out, what's the best way to kind of go about what you're trying to get to.
I just thought that would be a good thing to answer, because I'm sure there's going to be people asking that on this planet.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They're going to,
because I had a friend who, a mutual friend doesn't build websites anymore. And then right before the mobile get-in, she said, can you just make it, just pick a mobile responsive theme for me, and then that's all I care about.
Yeah.
Because the girl who did it doesn't build websites anymore. She niched out.
I see.
So it could be that there's an employee who did it who doesn't work there, or they stopped doing it, or they got a regular job and they're not freelancing anymore. So they're working at some company and they don't have time for you. So I was just wondering, is there like a reputable version of Craigslist where you can find, because I don't know a regular person is going to know the word developer.
Right.
I have a website already that's built on WordPress. Like somebody was saying on our show before, I kind of get worried when they say you have to use WordPress. But I would say if the website is already built in WordPress, you would want somebody who uses WordPress, right?
Right.
So then they can know that, not just Joomla or Wix or Blogspot or whatever.
Well, what you don't want to have happen is somebody come to you and say, I need this thing built in Joomla, and I'd tell them, well, cool, let's go find you a Joomla developer.
Right.
And you don't want to, it's been said a few times on these different WordCamps and stuff where people say, should I be marketing my services as a WordPress developer? Am I a WordPress developer? Does WordPress have enough kind of like oomph in the, in the industry? Or even just, if I tell my mom, hey mom, I'm a WordPress developer, she goes, okay.
Oh yeah, nobody knows what that is, and family member wise.
WordPress hasn't had like a Super Bowl commercial yet. It hasn't had any of these things. Now a lot of people know what WordPress is, but not everyone does.
Right. No, when I say I'm going to a WordCamp, my friends say, is that to learn the Bible? Because I'm a Christian, so it's the Word of God. So they think it's a Bible camp. And I go, no, it's a website thing. What? Like, and then you get this puzzled look on your face. So I was just thinking like that maybe that's something that needs to happen.
Right.
You have a WordPress website, you lost your developer.
Right.
or you don't maybe you don't want a whole redesign. You just want somebody to deal with all the updates because the new core version's coming out soon, right? 4 point something, 4. Yep. So if nobody works there anymore, who's gonna do your core update? Just hypothetically.
Right. Well, you could always just go in there and hit the button and go, well, I hope this works. Let's see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's interesting. I thought maybe you would know, but it's a good thing to think about maybe.
There's probably some stuff out there. It's just I've never had to go look for a WordPress developer, nor have I had to go and say, like, I'm a WordPress developer. Here's my services. Someday, please hire me. Like, I haven't had that yet. I did my business for about 2 years. And in those 2 years, I had one steady, contract that I was working through. And then I had a few little things on the side. And so those little few things on the side kept things going on top of that. So yeah, it just wasn't hurting yet. And I'd imagine that there's plenty of developers out there that are hurting for it. And they're really hungry to kind of get that type of work. And so
if you reverse that could be a way for you to market your services to small businesses who were DIYing, but
I will say don't go to your local like chamber of commerce and say, I'm looking for a web developer.
No, but I mean for your SEO and your content and your own blog.
Right.
Because we get whatever trade you're in, you get like really like into your own jargon. Pretty soon you don't know that you're speaking jargon. So when you want to be found, because I've been a secretary since I was 14. So filing is all about how you're going to look for it 5 years from now. Right. So you have to almost reverse engineer how somebody's going to find it in order to name a file or like file on your computer or anything. So I always think of that when I think of SEO, like a more organic, maybe not the niched out, super nerdy research version, but like if I say that I'm a Twitter nerd or something, I mean, maybe people will say, what is Twitter? But like, if I say, what is WordCamp, then they'll find it. Because you got to think like how somebody's going to look.
Right.
So is somebody going to, because for me working in construction, we do this thing called epoxy injection. And nobody knows that that's the way to fix concrete. So I ended up changing it to how to fix cracks in concrete panels. Because that's what people were searching for. They don't know that the answer is epoxy injection. So they're not going to use those words in their search. So that's what made me think, are we, and I'm not part of the we, are you guys in the audience at home or whoever who are freelancing using words that people are going to search for? Because I don't think, as kind of a person who's sort of new to this WordPress world, that anybody's going to use the word developer when they're looking for somebody to maintain their website.
Well, I mean, there's.
You see what I'm saying?
No, I get it. And the thing is I don't, if I were to, I use my mom or my wife for these types of things. So it's like, Mom, if you needed to have a website done, what would you do? Was she doing a search for website doer or website builder or website? I don't know. What is it?
Yeah, good question.
And then finding those things, and maybe that's when you write a blog post that says, have you ever been looking for, or have you ever looked for a website developer, or are you looking for a website developer? You use those types of things to kind of make that bring some more light to that post or something. So I just never got that far into it.
It's a funny thing that I thought about today.
No, yeah, it's true.
Sitting in traffic, wasting my life. I was at WordCamp LAX. Jeff from Pixel Jar. Oh yeah. Right? Did I say the right name? Okay.
You got him.
He has a mustache and sometimes he doesn't.
Yep.
This kind that goes like that.
It depends on what day of the week, but yeah.
He said that if you don't use the mouse, you can save 8 days and go on vacation. That's how much time you waste using a mouse.
Wow.
And of course that stuck in my head for some reason.
Right.
So then I figured out I've been driving to Santa Ana for 14 years.
Right.
And today I figured out that I've spent 3 years of my life, of my working life, 3 years of my working life in a car or on the train.
Huh.
Of that 14 years.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
So but the good thing, because my husband goes, well, so it was good for you, because the truth is that was like a downtime in my brain. And so I started thinking, oh, how do people look for website developers? Do they use the word developer? Is there a directory for develop? My brain just started thinking, but this is what you do when you're just sitting behind another car in the freeway doing nothing with your life.
I listen to podcasts.
That's another good idea.
Yeah,
I do that sometimes, but sometimes I'm just like done with talking.
Podcasts, audiobooks, all that sort of stuff. So I am looking through our list of questions that people are asking. There's a chef here, Chef Ivan Flowers, that was asking, is there a plugin recipe that can be used for most websites? We kind of talked a little bit about this. I think it was on episode 1 or 2 of this, where it was this idea of having a collection of...
Oh, yeah, with Oscar.
Yeah, exactly. And so there's a couple ways of do it. The one that I was describing during that time was to use the favorites feature within the WordPress repository. This idea of being able to type in the person's name and be able to find all the different recommended things that I recommend. One of the things that Oscar said regarding that was that it doesn't include premium thing or premium.
Oh, right.
Things. So like Gravity Forms wouldn't show up in there because it's a premium one. There's a whole bunch of these different ones that are out there that are premium that aren't actually in there, which is kind of weird for most people, at least nowadays, because they want to pull out their phone and buy an app. Well, on your website, you're looking at the plugins, you want to buy a plugin or you want to get a free plugin. Well, there's no way to buy a plugin through that. And there's no real way of, finding a list or those categories or any of that sort
Unless
of thing.
it's like the freemium kind.
Right.
Where it starts free and then the add-ons cost.
Then they hook you.
Which I think is kind of genius, because then it is in the repo.
Right.
Otherwise, you have to go to Pro Plugin Directory, right? And that's for sale now, so we don't know if that's going to exist.
Yeah, or just.
This is a real marketing problem, right?
I guess so. WordPress people are not very good at the marketing thing.
Well, I mean, we could just have that flavor in there, something to think about.
Right. Yeah, true.
Because if you want to be found and that's where people are looking,
right,
it might be worth it to be freemium.
Yeah. And that's why the freemium market works great, because it's like, I want to be able to accept, submissions on my website. It could be, like a contact form, or it could be, actually writing a blog post from the front end side of the WordPress site. It could be any other sorts of things. And there's all sorts of plugins to do that, and some of them are free and some of them are free and suck. Some of them are free and are really great. And then some of them just don't exist except for as a premium product. And those are, I've gone through all of those and I've gotten to the point where it's like the premium product is better, at least for me, and I use Gravity Forms. So yeah, you just kind of have to find, which thing it is that you like and go with it. Well, if you're just starting out, that makes it really difficult. And that's when you watch shows like this, you watch shows like WPwatercooler, you watch these other different, YouTube shows or whatever, or you go to a meetup, or you go to, a WordCamp.
That could be a good blog post. 5 plugins I use every single time.
Yeah.
Because when I think of a recipe, like, it's not so set in stone. Like, if you're going to make bread, you're definitely going to need flour, baking soda, baking powder, some kind of yeast. So it could be yeast powder, it could be beer. And then you're going to use, like maybe eggs or some water, something like that. But So once you have the concept of what needs to be there, then you could start substituting. So I was thinking of it more conceptual, like you need a backup plugin.
Oh, yeah.
You need an SEO plugin. You need a social sharing plugin, buttons, and thanks for the mass share. I love that.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And then you would need like, I was trying to think, like, for sure, what do I for sure have? Backup, SEO, sharing, and then
what else would there be?
I'm mentally going through the list because I have 4 websites and they're all the same plugins now. Because Yoast replaced like 5 things for me. Oh, and then like a gallery,
right?
Like for photos or videos. So I have Yoast, I have Updraft Plus, I have Mass Share, and I have Food Gallery, and that's kind of like covering almost all of my basic needs. And then I might have something depending upon the actual weird functionality. It's like, it would be like adding garlic to your bread. You don't need it. It's just an extra thing. So, maybe that's something that would be a good blog fodder. Just,
It would. I'm letting 5
plugins every WordPress website should have. Somebody's probably already written it. I'll Google it and see.
Like 25 over. Yeah. And we've covered those types of things on Watercooler too, where it's just like, what are our favorite plugins, or what are the best ones that we've used, or out of all of these things that we've done, what did we end up with being the best ones or whatever. We have a recommendations site over at WPwatercooler.com/recommendations where we do those types of things. I'm actually going to be linking in all of the different links to each of the different posts that we've talked about these, so you can kind of go full circle. I'm looking for doing forms. What do I use for forms? And then here's us talking about using it for forms. So I'm getting there, but I'm not 100% there just yet. So go over there and take a look at it. It's just right now, it's just kind of a brain dump of all these different links and stuff that go off to various both premium as well as free plugins. So you can go take a look at those. So yeah, Tracy was asking about that same type of thing. Is there a package? Is there like a starter kit or something like that?
That would be nice. But I like the idea of favoriting, so that even for your own self, if you've already decided you like these, so the next time, blip, 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 blip.
Yeah, and I'll put a link to my favorites in here, just so people can go take a look at those if they're interested. Have you by chance favorited any in the repo at all?
Yeah, I did that for that exact reason, because
so you can find them yourself.
Yeah, because when I did my final WordPress website, the final 4th, I was like, I don't want to have to go look for these again. So then, if you have your favorites, then they're all right there. Boom. Add, and then you can go back to your list and go activate.
So you're trying to trick yourself into thinking that that's the last.
Oh, that's the last one. You heard it here on episode 8 of WP Blab.
I don't know about all that.
I'm no dev and I'm no designer, but I blog and it's good enough, and I'm not changing the theme. I don't care.
I put my link in there. Bridget, is yours your first name, last name?
It's Bridget Willard. Yeah, it should be Bridget Willard. Hi, Ira.
How's it going? Feel free to jump in if you have any questions, or you just want to hang out. Feel free to jump on in.
There is an open seat available.
It's like an overhead compartment or something like that. That type of.
I know, right? In the event of an emergency,
there are some
exits in the rear.
You have some pretty decent lists of favorite plugins in here.
I have some pretty awesome WordPress nerd friends, because everybody kept saying Yoast, but I was afraid of it. I'm just telling you the truth. Like, it looked too complicated for me.
What do I do with the stoplight?
But it wasn't complicated.
No, it's not. It
was actually easier, and I wish that I had just done it first, because it literally replaced add meta tags, JM Twitter cards, and Google XML sitemap. I don't need those anymore, because Yoast SEO did all of those things.
True.
And it's somebody that's like a name brand. It's like Starbucks. You can trust their bathrooms to be clean. It doesn't matter where you are. You can go to a Starbucks, look for the green awnings, and then you can use their bathroom. And they have a decent latte. Maybe it's not great for the coffee snobs. It's better than McDonald's. And so, like, Yoast is just trustworthy. I hear it all the time.
Yeah.
They have done a great job with their branding to the point where I said, that's it. That's all I'm using. Don't even talk to me about anything else. I'm committed.
So now I'm digging through the list of stuff that you have here, and I'm interested. So perfect pull quotes.
Okay, you said that one. Did you? Or was it Matt Cromwell?
I think
it might have been Matt Cromwell, because we were having this discussion about whether us telling our audience that they should tweet this. Hey, listen up, buddy. This is what I'm saying. It's awesome. Write it down. Like, that's almost that obnoxious.
Right.
Tweet this out. Tweet it. Did you tweet it yet? You can't read the rest of this till you tweet it. Like, I actually saw this like gating thing. Remember like gating on Facebook? Do you remember that?
No.
Where you had to like a page before you could see stuff?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or fan gating.
Right.
It was called one or the other.
Yeah.
I saw a person, they go, they tweeted out, I just wrote this blog post. It's super awesome. And so I go to look at it, it goes, tweet out, and then you can see it. I'm like,
why would
no.
I do that?
I didn't even read it again. I'm not going to tweet it out. Have you lost your mind completely? And so guess what happened? Bounce. I'm done. I'm out.
Yeah.
And guess what happened? Guess what's going to happen? I'm never coming back again, because you're going to make me tweet it out that I like it. I have my own street cred. I built this audience, and people trust me. I'm just tweeting out stuff I never read before. Like, have you lost your mind? But you want me to tweet this out? I mean, I'll give you my email. You can sign me up for your email list. Like, I was on the Muse the other day, and they had this like resignation letter thing or something. Not that I would need that for any reason that anybody knows. It's just for a friend. And so I'm talking too much. But anyway, but you couldn't see the stuff until you gave them the email. Yeah, you can have my email. Tell me how to write my resignation letter. That's fine. But I'm not tweeting this out first.
So how does the perfect pull quote work in regards to Twitter, though? Like, in regards to Twitter, like, I understand the perfect pull quote part, but like, how does the...
Okay, but this is how we started talking about it. The cool part about it is that, like, it's more than just an H1 tag. It's like this big thing that makes you see it. And the pull quote will do the same thing. Either it'll be on this side, or it'll be big in the center.
Yeah.
So if your reason for using tweet this thing is so that people see that sentence, because that was the best sentence you ever wrote in your whole life, under 140 characters, then that works. But the thing that I don't like about pull quote is, okay, so if you're reading an article online or in an actual magazine where they use a pull quote, that's really called a pull quote because they pulled it out of the text. So it's in the text, and then they pulled it out, but it's still in the text. Yeah. So that plugin pulls it out to the side, but then it takes it out of the text. I'm like, I don't know if I like that either.
It does that?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, so I was testing it out because Matt and I were talking about, like, strategy-wise, we want people to notice this one thing, and they can highlight it, and maybe that they'll tweet it their own selves, because it seems less like tweet this, because there's always like the psychology of how your post is perceived by people. So, that's why people want a good design, because they want it to feel like easy to read, and it does make it easy to read. But I'm not 100% sure I like it yet. I'm kind of still testing it out, and I probably should write some more stuff instead of hanging out on blah 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 blah.
So you can pull your own quotes.
Yeah, maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll just write about the plugins I use all the time. People are asking about it. Yeah, I don't know. Stupid. I'm no expert, but I'm just saying, like, I have so many people I met on Twitter and stuff, and they're always saying the plugins they like.
Right.
I mean, maybe, like, maybe that needs to happen. Maybe somebody needs to make a plugin that makes a package. I mean, is that all like JavaScript stuff? Can you do like whatever you want, or is there kind of rules
to making what?
Like, I mean, conceptual rules. Like, is there copyright things? Like, you couldn't say, you couldn't package it up You know, like when people send out gift baskets, they're buying stuff from all over the place. They put it in a basket.
Right.
Is there any reason why you couldn't do it? Yeah, like Jetpack. So there you go.
Right. Well, Jetpack.
Ira said Jetpack.
Jetpack is like, okay, so we're a company that has a ton of money. Thank you for building this really great plugin. We're going to now buy it from you or take it over, and now we're going to give it to our developers, and our developers are going to run with it. Or we're taking you and your plugin, and we're bringing you in, and you're going to be, babysitting your plugin that now lives in the Jetpack nursery, if you will.
Oh, is that what happened? There was acquisitions and mergers?
Oh, yeah. There's all sorts of
I didn't know
like,
that.
for instance, the one
now I understand why people are so emotionally involved with it. I'm like, why are they so angry?
Yeah. So
why is there this anger and vitriol over Jetpack?
So the one that was for polling, for doing polls, that one used to be called Poll Daddy.
Oh, Poll Daddy. Yeah. That was on Twitter too.
Yep. Exactly. So like that sort of thing. There's all these different ones that were out there. Some of them were really teeny tiny plugins. Other ones were really big ones, and they just kind of brought them together.
Don't people want to be bought though? Isn't that sometimes a business model?
Yeah, but I don't think they
want to be the next WooCommerce or something.
Well, that was like one
off.
That was a lot in the making.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. that wasn't just like you guys make money, cool, let's buy you, why not?
I mean, it happened with TweetDeck. They got bought out by Twitter,
right?
Those people are happy, and they're in the Bahamas or whatever they're doing, I mean, that's like sometimes a startup thing, isn't it?
Yeah, that you have to have like an exit strategy kind of thing is the way that they call it, an exit strategy. Let's see here.
Did I totally rabbit hole us out?
Nah, you're fine. I'm looking at what I'm doing is I'm kind of digging through some of if you guys want to do the same thing, and even if you want to ask some questions about it, because it looks like we got a couple folks in here. This link right here is a link to my favorites, and then Bridget's favorites are here as well. And feel free to go take a look at those. If you have questions regarding them, we'd be more than happy to ask or answer those questions. So feel free to just ask them in the chat or what have you, or take one of the empty seats and you can hop in and ask us some questions. So one of the plugins that I install quite a bit on sites, especially sites that I'm handing over to a customer, is one called Label CMS. I like this because I can kind of hide all the stuff that people don't need to see, as a user of WordPress, and also be able to brand out their site so it looks really nice and stuff has their logo in the corner instead of the big W that they don't know what that means, and just.
You mean looking at the dashboard?
Yeah.
Oh, so it rebrands the dashboard.
It rebrands the dashboard. So
interesting.
So and that way you can kind of make your site. And I've been using this one for a while. It's made by a company called Video User Manuals. And I like it. It's called Label CMS. You guys can feel free to go take a look at that link and go check it out. They have some, like for instance, it can make it so that you can have a nice logo on the top of the login page, so your logins will look nice and clean.
So whose logo goes there? Yours or theirs?
Yeah. Oh no, you would put theirs.
Is it? Yeah. I mean, if you're a company that does management, that could be good branding for you.
True, but
they always see your logo.
Right.
Except we give out keychains for the love of God.
True, but they give out. Here's the thing, though, is that most of the time when somebody goes to like log in to the site, if they're like a commenter or if they require to somebody to create an account, they'll end up seeing that logo, and that's
oh, so then you want it to be the company's logo.
Yeah. One of the other things that you can do with this Label CMS that I've used in the past is put like a little meta box, like a little box that lives on the dashboard that has my contact information on there. And it even has a description on there on how to remove my contact information from that box. So that way, but it's good for like leaving notes or something if you want to remember something like that. There's other plugins out there that can do that, but for just installing one plugin and one plugin only, that works pretty well for kind of cleaning up the back end of
cool.
The WordPress site. So
stuff that nobody would think about.
Yeah, well,
I was going to ask for that. They don't even know if it's a choice.
Yeah, that was more of like my branding piece of like, hey, how do I get people to call me back up, 6 months from now when I've already given them a great website and now I want to have them have a even better website? How can I get them to spend more money with me?
The maintenance, like even in construction, that's how you make money. Maintenance.
Right. Exactly.
It's really that way in roofing because you're going to do one roof for 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're only going to do the roof, you have to get a customer. Every person is a new customer, unless you're going to be that, be the 31 year, right?
Right.
So you want the maintenance. So it seems logical to me that
Yeah.
if you build a website and everybody's happy with how it looks, you're not going to be redesigning it every year.
True.
You're going to be maintaining it. So somebody's going to be making money from maintaining. I'll click those arrows that go like this. Here's your bill.
Right. Exactly.
I see some smart people up in the circles,
right?
And they should be sitting in
they
that
should
seat.
Be. They should.
I see people that are like organizers of word camps that are David. Don't you want to be on our show, friend?
You push the thing that says open seat, and then you just jump
call
right in. Just make sure you turn your radio down before you call.
Bridget talking about stuff she doesn't know anymore. Have mercy.
Turn your radio down a little bit before you call. So, Bridget, have you? She has no camera on the screen. All right.
Oh.
Okay. Have you ever received an email from your website and you're like, wow, that email looks ugly? Like, why does this thing? It's just.
Every time you get a comment, you mean?
Every time you get a comment, any of these things, you look at it and you're just like, wow, like my website produces ugly looking emails. Like, why would I do this? So I have a solution for that. So the plugin is called WP Better Emails. And what this thing does is it makes your emails in HTML and it makes them look nice. So when somebody receives a comment, or somebody even leaves a comment on the website and says, hey, thank you for leaving a comment, blah, 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 whatever those things are that get sent out, you can actually customize the look and feel of the email. So you could put the name of your site on the top, maybe the blog description, whatever else. You can use this as like a way of doing a little bit of marketing to it if you wanted.
Oh, I'm clicking the heart on that.
Yeah, it's pretty rad.
Because the comment emails look like spam.
Right. You look at
Is that something that one of the core nerds can fix? Is that a core thing?
To what? Make the thing not look ugly?
Because people that aren't really sure about stuff, new people getting emails that look like that.
That's the thing is sometimes things should be in core, which the core part of WordPress, but
I don't care. It's not really that important.
Like,
it's not really core for them.
Right. We have bigger fish to fry.
They have a plugin for that, so we don't care.
Right,
we just want you to embed a live version of somebody else's website when you put a link there. That's more important.
Yes. For this week.
I don't know about that. I haven't decided if that's going to be cool or not. I'm going to wait to see it.
So what Bridget's talking about is that you have these development cycles. So what happens is somebody wants to build something cool in WordPress, and so a bunch of people get together and say, yes, you should build that cool thing. And so one of the things that they're building is they use this thing called O-embed. And so an O-embed lets you take like a YouTube video and put it on a single line in your blog post, separated by spaces on both top and bottom. And then you post it, and it changes that URL into an actual embed on your site. And this works with a whole bunch of different sites. If you go over onto the WordPress
Instagram,
website,
Twitter,
yeah, it works with all sorts of really cool ones. Well, one of the things is if I remember correctly, isn't Jetpack required for that, or is it not required? I don't remember.
It's a different PHP or something. I can't even believe I'm saying these words out loud, but I've been reading stuff. So
what it does is it takes your website blog post and uses it as almost like if you were to take like a tweet from Twitter and stick it in there. It'll actually say, "Oh, here's Jason's blog post.
It's like a live preview almost."
Right. So that's gonna be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how that works. But
I don't know, because when you're on WordPress.com, which I've been on forever until this year.
Yeah.
There's little ads. They'll say, you might like this one. You might like this post. You know how it'll say you might like this post?
Right.
And so you're like, it sounds to me like it'll look like what I'm worried about from a marketing perspective. Hi, David.
Hey.
What I'm worried about from a marketing perspective is that somebody will read and then they'll see that live preview and think that it's over. That's what I'm worried about. Because I'm not the nerd. I'm the one who wants people to read my stuff.
Right.
So it's the marketing part, right? So you embed this right here, because I'm on websites all the time where you're an entrepreneur or something, you're reading down, then there's an ad, and super light, super light gray that nobody can see. It says, click here to read more, because they don't want you to read it. Okay.
Oh man.
Like, do you think anybody over 40 reads your website, dear entrepreneur? So then it goes, then you got to click that and it comes down. I was in a bad mood. It's just like, I mean, I'm 42 years old. Everything's in super light gray. And don't you want me to read your things and see what your buttons say? I thought you wanted me to read it. I thought it was
Where's
all about
the high
reading.
contrast button on this website?
I mean, I'm fine with the hamburger thing. I don't need to say menu, but I mean, I just want to be able to read that if you really want me to read it. But when the ad is there, sometimes you think, oh, it's done, because a lot of people just go blah, 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 blah. And it's over. Click here to really read the article that I really just ripped off from somewhere else to steal content from them or whatever. So when I see, for somebody like me who's into content marketing, when I see that you're going to embed somebody else's article, I'm like, why would I do that? I don't want them leaving.
Right.
I want them opening that in a new page, and then I don't want them going like, oh, a squirrel. Like, I'm reading something else.
Squirrel.
I don't want you to read something else. I want you to read mine. That's why you're here. Hey, David. Welcome to our ridiculous show.
So when I watch the Blab, I always feel like it's kind of like a telethon. So I'm just kind of curious, like, what are we raising money for? It's got like that Jerry Lewis appealing to the Muscular Dystrophy Foundation. You know, what are you guys? You got to shill. You got to kind of repeat what you just said. Let me say that another way.
Let's do that another way.
Oh, you're making me laugh.
What are you guys talking about tonight? What's going on?
We are talking about right now. We're talking about this idea of having embedded posts from a different website in your post. So if you went,
you know how the core is going to change or something, blah blah blah.
Yeah. So if you go click on the link about oh my goodness, if you go click on the link,
I don't want to sound like a nerd. I'm going to lose my street cred as a noob.
Yeah.
Oh look, this is a cool mug.
Hey, that is a cool mug.
It's the wrong-handed version of it. I'm not left-handed, so here's your branding.
Beautiful logo design by Robert Ninehouse.
Yes. Yeah. Just since we had the Orange County WordCamp guy here.
Who's that?
You. Aren't you in charge? Are you in charge of stuff?
I don't know. We'll see. I applied to lead organize again for next year, so we'll see. We'll see if they're like, I don't know.
Orange County's my home camp. Because now I have a home camp. I'm officially crazy. I go to 3 WordCamps a year now, and I have a home camp.
If I had to choose from all of the WordCamps that I've ever been to, I would definitely choose Orange County.
You have to have a home base, right?
That's where I live. I live in the city of Orange. It doesn't get much more orange.
Oh, so you're literally in Orange.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was what we were talking about. It's like, what do you think? Do you have any
I don't really have
it, or do you get in trouble if you talk against the core? Like the one rule of Fight Club is you don't talk about Fight Club.
Look, we're part of the rebels, okay? We're good.
They don't pay me. I'm a volunteer, so no.
Okay. I don't want to get anybody in trouble. I don't know if there's like rules. And now you're going to be ostracized from the cold.
I suppose it's possible, but I'm not overly concerned. I'm not a big fan of like taking other people's stuff and making it my own. I could see a site where it would be like a useful thing, right. Where it's, curating information as opposed to like, saying, I'm going to put this here to kind of draw more attention to yourself. I mean, cause I think what everybody's thinking, the main thing is, how are you abusing this for your SEO purposes? Right. I mean, that's
right.
Yeah. Right. So,
and I'd imagine there's probably going to be some, no follow links and a bunch of that sort of stuff kind of baked into this. So that way, Then I think, if I remember correctly, reading a little bit of the code, was that it iframes the site, squishes it down, and then makes it, passes something to it, just saying, hey, just let you know you're being embedded, so you need to, display things a certain way, hide the stuff on the top, hide the stuff on your sidebar. Just give me the content. Oh, and by the way, it needs to be this specific piece of content. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that works out. I haven't got to dive in and kind of play around with it or anything like that. But yeah, it sounds like a pretty interesting, way of doing stuff. Yeah, and I'm also really curious as to like how is like Google Analytics going to work for this? Are you going to be able to know like how many people, like how many times is Chris Lima's post going to be posted on somebody else's site? That's what I want to know.
Is there a way to find that out? Is there like a tricky way to find that out? That's what I'm curious
about. I mean, he would most likely be able to see it because he could look at his analytics on his site.
Reach and stuff.
Right, exactly. So maybe something like that. Maybe somebody will write a blog or write a plugin that will detect when it gets embedded and then be able to
write a plugin to find out about analytics.
Oh yeah,
I need that. I want one that says, "Listen, woman. People are coming to your website because they're typing in blah, da, 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 da.
Right.
And you haven't written about that at all.
Oh.
Going and
that's more
like something that kind of like guides you, because I can look at Google Analytics all day long, and you have all those weird spammy ones, and there's really no way to get rid of them. Even Mike Hansen says there's really no way to get rid of that, and he's like super nerdy on that.
You can just
so I mean, if he says it, then it's like this big pain, right?
Right.
So a person like me, I'm just writing, and I want you to read when I'm writing. And if you're coming to my website and you want to see something else, I need somebody to tell me that just in regular English. Like Bridget,
right?
People are coming to you and they want to know how to change their photo or how to take a better selfie. So you're getting so much traffic on that. You need to write about that again. But maybe that'll put people out of business.
No, you can look at your analytics. I mean, that's
I was going to say, you can look at your specific page.
I know, but I want
you want
plugin
spoon fed to you and
to me
presented on a platter.
In a more UX way. It looks pretty with flowers on it.
A friendly dashboard.
Or this is like, are you guys going to do Plugin Palooza again?
I cannot speak about
anything. Well, that was such a cool thing.
Orange County WordCamp, because I haven't been approved as a.
Like, just hypothetically, if anybody does this. Another thing that I think would be cool is like some kind of affirmation plugin.
Let me take some notes.
Yeah, like you log on and it's like, remember the stupid Microsoft paperclip?
Oh no, don't say this.
But something that says, hey, you're back. Did you update? And when you do, score. You just got the update badge. The next time you update 3 plugins, you get another sticker. Like the Foursquare.
He's gamifying all of the chores of maintaining your WordPress website.
I think my mom's calling me.
Okay. No, well, I'm just saying, like, so you have a lot of people that are just normal people like me,
right?
And like somebody asked us the other day.
Go with it.
Non-developer savvy people.
I'm not at all a developer myself.
Just need to be encouraged to be on the site a little bit more. I mean, if Swarm is giving me a sticker and telling me how awesome I am for being the mayor of Del Taco, I think that I deserve more stickers.
Mayor of Del Taco, come on.
For keeping all of my plugins up to date. I want stickers. I want to be able to share that on Twitter. And I want people to know that my website is totally awesome. And I've reached level 4 of core updates. I'm just saying, could you imagine?
Look, this is going to be awesome.
We keep our WordPress, WordCamp things. Could you imagine how cool? People need to be affirmed. I'm telling you, this is the idea of the year. Somebody who does this get a huge high five from me. And I'm going to write about my blog 100 million times over.
Just like the MailChimp high five right in the middle of the screen.
MailChimp does it, David. You're so right. And here's the thing. Like, this is the coolest thing I've ever done in my whole life. And nobody that I know, except for you lovely people, even know what I did. That was awesome. They don't even know what WordPress is. My grandma doesn't know what WordPress is. She doesn't know I built 4 websites. My boss still thinks I'm using Blogspot. He doesn't even know how awesome I am. I want somebody to tell me that I'm awesome.
You're
I'm just
awesome.
saying.
You are
Thanks,
awesome.
David. I'm telling you, that's big bucks
too.
right there.
Oh, was I supposed to record this? I'll just...
Oh man, this is called
Too
procrastination
funny.
when you don't have a
So,
question.
like, do people actually ask questions? Or
Yeah,
Yes, they do.
We were just answering some questions.
Okay, cool. Bridget is awesome. See,
Ta-da! That's all you
Thanks,
need.
Ira.
We're done. We can close up shop now. That's it. Okay.
No, but that was just you got me all excited thinking about that, because that, I mean, really, we are. I mean, when you do that, it's kind of a cool thing.
Yeah.
it totally could. I mean, separating your two ideas.
Yeah.
The whole idea of like having badges to tell you, you know, you're doing good versus, I mean, personally, I can do without it, but I think you're probably right. There probably is an audience for it. But your other idea of actually serving the analytics in a more user-friendly way, I think that it definitely has legs. It's just, it's not an easy
dollar signs.
Bridget could become mayor of her own website. It's going to be.
Yeah, I want to be the mayor. No, for serious, you guys.
I have another thing to add in here. So,
yes.
Bridget, remember how we were just talking like 30 minutes ago about this idea of
remember 9 years ago?
We see our lives in the car driving to work.
Your website look better when they get sent to you.
Yes.
So I have another one for you that's pretty awesome. So this thing's called Digest, and what Digest does is it makes it so that instead of getting a bunch of notifications sent to you, it actually sends one notification to you
favorite
every single day.
I favorited it.
Now, if you didn't, get any badges or any of those sorts of things, or people didn't leave comments or any of that sort of stuff, then you won't get anything. But what's really interesting about this one is that not only does it do all those things of send you emails about, moderation stuff and somebody signed up and somebody reset their password. The other thing it does is it tells you when core updates came out. So it's hey, there's an update. You need to click here. Go do it. And then you click on it and you go update your website.
Yeah, for me, SiteGround tells me.
Right.
And then they go, hey, you already did it. You rock. See, SiteGround is already doing that.
Right.
And the thing is, okay, I'm making a joke out of it just because it's more entertaining. But the truth, I mean, who wants to talk? It's so boring. But the truth is that we become affectionate. We're human beings. We become affectionate with people that appreciate us. And I realized that I fell in love with SiteGround. I mean, because I'm a marketer, kind of, I'll sit there and do some introspection, like, why did I subscribe to that YouTube channel? Why do I like this person? Why do it? Like, I'll start asking myself these questions.
Right.
And I go, why do I like SiteGround? And I go, oh, I really like these emails. They make me feel good about myself, or whatever. Like, so because I'm crazy, I self-analyze, but then it helps me apply it elsewhere into the world. And so what if there's somebody who feels even less secure than I do, and they couldn't even believe that they did it, and they're so excited that they did it, and there's this little tiny line on the dashboard that's like in 6-point font that says all updates are done.
You're like, yes, that's it.
Anticlimactic.
No, she's saying that's not.
I feel more affirmed when I vote and I get a sticker.
24-point.
It's like, click here to tweet that you updated all of the plugins on your site so everyone knows about it.
I want that.
But what's funny, that's what attracted me to DreamHost. I started hosting with DreamHost a while ago, and it was the sense of humor on the website made me go, all right, these are people who I could give a whirl.
Yeah.
And then it happened to be that, there's some folks in our community who, worked at DreamHost, so it was very cool.
I'm telling you, that's so true. When I came to social media and WordPress because I had a CD for sale. And that's why I came to social media, because I was looking for how to sell a CD, right? And I mean, it doesn't really matter now because my whole life is changing. But I went to CD Baby. And
is Is it music? Is it stuff that?
No, yeah, I write music, or I used to before I had a real life and job and stuff. There's a guitar gathering dust somewhere in this room. But I went to CD Baby, and that was at that time it was owned by Derek Sivers. And that's what he did. He goes, "You rock." He was like MailChimp before MailChimp was like that. And when you got in, when somebody bought your CD, it was like, "You're so awesome." Da, 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 da. And it was just so different, you know, whenever that was 10 years ago, 14, 12 years ago, that you never heard anything like that. All the emails were very like business-like.
Thank you for coming to our website. Yeah.
But then they're like, "Sweet, our shelves are totally empty. Send us more stock," you know? And you're like, "Yay!" And you're like running to the post office. "Let me send this. There's fans waiting," you know? It over dramatized it, but you forget that like you're doing something really awesome, and we have an audience, and sometimes we're not touching them, you know, we're not in contact with them,
right?
So it helps to have that interface and add to the humanity of it. And it's good to look at it and think about how you feel when something happens. That's why designers design the way they do, because they want you to feel something. We have emotions, you know. So I'm crazy. That's okay. I'll just stop talking.
No, it's awesome.
I just like over emotional about it. Like, well, we get attached.
Hey, Jason, what's the total? What are we up to?
We're up to 86 cents. Yes, I'm gonna tweet that.
Oh man, I just did something somewhere and it said tweet that you did it.
Oh really?
I was like, what?
What
is?
Like
I know what it was. ManageWP.com.
Oh really? It says
when I do the little sync thing and I say update, it says tweet it. Good job. That's cool. Probably where I got the idea. Well, but it could be more like visual, like the high five or
actually tweeting it, or is it just like tongue in cheek?
No, it's a button. You can press it. I didn't because I was like,
those I want people to know nuts. Those drive me nuts. Every time I buy something now, it's like, "Would you like to tell the world that you just bought this?" I'm like, "No, I don't want to tell anyone I just bought this, especially my wife." That's
our marketers. Like Gary Vaynerchuk says, marketers ruin everything. That's us. We did that to you. We want people to tell the world.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe 5 days later, we should say, "Tell the world." Do you really like it?
I think that would be better, or at the very least, to not make it like a
we've detected that you
don't make it a break in my flow. If you want to have those buttons down below, and I really do want to share it, awesome. But don't make it a pop-up obnoxio like do this next. That's a step.
That is exactly what we started talking about. Yeah. The like gating.
Yeah.
Or the buttons that say tweet this, where it feels pushy. We've been, a friend of mine, we've been kind of brainstorming about whether or not that's obnoxious or not.
It is.
Yeah. No, it totally is.
I mean, as marketers, we want you to do that, but then that's not very hospitable, is it?
Keep my flow go.
Well, it's kind of like that. It's kind of like that. You know, we were talking about this at work, where the person at work was asking, like, where do we put the social share buttons on the page? Do we put them on the top or do we put them on the bottom? And the thing is if you put them on the top, you're asking somebody to share something that they haven't even read yet. Now, you put it on the bottom, you're hoping that they actually read it. Well, if they don't read stuff and they just skim the top, then they won't click on the share button that's on the top. So we're just like, you know what? Put one on the bottom, put one on the top. We're good to go.
There you go.
But if you only have one paragraph for the text, then you have a share button and another share button. And you're like,
it's obnoxious. It is obnoxious.
Desperate. It's a little desperate, yeah.
Desperate. I didn't think of it as yeah, it is annoying, Greg, but you're right. Desperate is, we don't want to sound desperate. Like, we don't want to sound like we don't have any Thanksgiving plans, and that's why we're calling you 2 days before Thanksgiving to see what's happening in your life. So, what's going on? I haven't heard from you.
I thought you were just calling to gloat. I didn't realize.
How's that water polo going?
Wow.
Oh, what am I doing? Wow, I actually don't have plans. What? That was so nice of you to ask. But come on, you know why somebody's calling 2 days before Thanksgiving? Let's be serious here.
It doesn't happen to me, but I can imagine.
It's a hypothetical situation, just for the sake. I'm totally retired, so I get it. I'm just saying.
You're getting a call from me, dude. I'm gonna call you up and be like, "Hey, so what are you doing for Thanksgiving?"
I heard from you 6 months.
We're going out to dinner for Thanksgiving.
Nice.
We do it almost every year. So
That's my favorite.
you're welcome to come, but you're paying for yourself.
That's awesome. You're funny. I didn't realize you were so funny.
I'm not really funny.
Yeah, you are.
Okay.
You rock.
Well, are there questions to answer? Like, it seems like people are getting sleepy. How long do you do this for?
We usually do it for about an hour. We're kind of there.
Oh, you're over.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But sometimes there's like a guest expert person that just hangs out with us. Sometimes we just talk strategy. And you happen to be that person today in the hot seat. No, that's good. I like the mix.
Sorry, watchers.
Sorry, we only get about 10,000 people watching this thing.
Have you been on Blab before? I mean, do you have any thoughts about Blab versus Google Hangouts on Air?
No, I've watched the show a couple of times, or parts of it, because that's kind of my life right now.
Right.
But
I hear you. I don't watch anything.
I like the format, and I like that we have the interaction.
Mm-hmm.
There's been many a water cooler where I wish I could have seen what the stream was saying. So yeah, I think it's pretty cool. I think it's a fun format, and yeah, I'm gonna try and get it on my calendar so I tune in more regularly.
Yeah, it's not so good for screen sharing. People are finding, but it's good for the conversation. I like the 4 boxes.
Yeah.
And it doesn't like switch around if somebody actually taps their keyboard or something.
True.
The loudest person's the big thing, even if it's just this. You know?
Whoa! What just happened?
How many seats can you? I mean, is 4? Is that the limit?
You know, like the Brady Bunch.
That's what I wanted to get the 9 grid going for, like, we could do Hollywood Squares or something.
Yeah, totally. That would be so funny. Yeah. Of course, Blab is still in beta, so who knows what will change. What we really want them to change is choosing your audio and video source. So, dear Blab, if you're listening to this, Jason Tucker would like you to change that. Thank you.
Because every time I start, I have to change a whole bunch of settings.
Yeah.
It's annoying. But then
probably I'll be more obnoxious about tweeting questions, but next week is Thanksgiving and we will not be doing this. And we just lost Jason. There you are.
Come on.
Do the Thanksgiving episode?
We're not going to do the Thanksgiving episode.
You have like turkey just in front of you.
No, because I won't be home and I'm sure Jason has people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see you in 2 weeks. See you as a general audience, whoever.
The royal you.
Or if you're just watching it archived, you'll see the next episode.
Well, thanks for having me on.
Hey, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for coming by.
Yeah, that was cool.
Should we wrap this bad boy up?
We should wrap this bad boy up.
All right.
I'm
Jacob,
Willard,
thanks for stopping by. I'm so sorry that we're closing up shop just as you barely show up here, but Jacob's awesome, dude. He speaks over at the WordCamps and the whatnot.
Sweet! She's giving you a lot of love right now. You're getting a lot of numbers. Oh, thanks, friend.
So go over to our website at WPwatercooler.com/WPblab, and you can take a look at all the cool stuff that we've recorded over there. We have done 8 of these episodes. So if you want to go back and check out the archives, I've actually been using some of the topics that have been discussed here as topics on WP Watercooler. And I've also done the other way around. So make sure you go over those and kind of get those all checked out and see what's going on there. If you want, you can click on the subscribe button. It shows up someplace here on YouTube. And you can also click on any of the things that show up here for the various links to both Bridget's website as well as my website and all of our musings. So thank you for being on the show, Bridget. Thank you so much. All of you that have been watching the show, I appreciate it. And you guys have a good rest of your night. Bye-bye.